All right, we're back from another episode of Few Points from Perfect, and this is not a concert, buddy.
But it can be.
We're still down the main co-host, Jason. You guys
Yeah.
would have to excuse me. I forgot to open my Pepsi before we started there. See,
Yeah.
That sound rings differently in my ears.
it's still a blue. It's still a blue can. Oh, I about had a freak out. I didn't think I hit record on the iPad, but I think we're all good. I got the sesame seed off the bun stuck out of my throat from lunch.
Yeah.
That was a big ordeal.
There was just one on that bun
There was-
that got.
Yeah.
There was one sesame seed, and it ended up right here.
I think it was the half container of pepper he put on the meat.
I will agree with
that
you.
was definitely not the issue at all. So, anyways, gentlemen, you want to introduce yourself for people that may not know who you are?
Well, I've been on your podcast before.
That don't mean that people listening this
However-
time have seen them all.
NY Millennial, aka
Not your average.
Mr. Millennial. And if you expand that, it's not your average millennial.
And also known as Matt.
Also known as Matt. Lots of names.
And you, my friend.
I am the one and only man
Thank
behind
God.
the scenes. I've got so many nicknames I don't even want to get going. But
Well, most of them are probably not podcast approved.
Definitely not.
no, I'm not talking about the names you call me. I'm talking about other people. But
I think there's only
Yeah.
one we can share, and it's Sweet Pea.
yeah, we can share that one.
And that wasn't given to him by a girlfriend, just to make it, just to be clear.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Last time we had Aaron on the podcast, we got so far off track talking about the way the poles are changing, and north is no longer north, and south is no longer south, and it's just going. It got downhill.
But people seen and know what I was talking about. So
Did they?
We're good. Yeah, we're not going
Absolutely.
into that. We just
There's plenty of posts out there that show the
Yeah.
sun sets further in the south now than it ever has.
see.
I don't live in the south, so I don't see. You practicing your Spanish? See. All right, guys. So this is. I didn't really prep you guys a whole lot for the podcast because.
Normal.
Yeah, first off, we don't have time. But first off, check it out. We got new Mickey Mouse headphones from Walmart.
Except me, I got gunners.
And I think yours are the best.
They are.
Yeah, they are the best.
Me and Gunner are the best. I'm glad you admitted
we see
it.
how everybody ranks in this situation. But everybody asked me. There's two questions everybody asks me all the time. I'm gonna let you guys answer these open and honestly. I didn't prep you for any of them. But one, how many people work for me full time? Two, I guess it's three questions. One, how many people work for me full time? Two, what's it like working and filming with me? And three, what are your guys' real jobs?
Oh, I'll answer the first question, and the answer is zero, other than yourself.
Full time. So what is the first question?
The first question was, how many full-time employees do you have? And prior to 2023, zero, other than yourself.
Yep, I'm the only full time guy. So let's back up a little bit further.
Are you even full time?
No.
Well, I'm full time at what? See, that's another thing people don't understand. That's a whole other podcast. Like, what
Squirrel.
what percentage of what we do you think we actually record?
Ooh, that's a real good question. Me personally,
Well,
25%.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you take into consideration all the other stuff and the other, well, of course we haven't done anything for a while. But the stadium
No.
business, we haven't recorded anything there. My real estate stuff, don't record anything there. The market, which is kind of falls under real estate, don't record anything there. The farming, don't really record anything there. So basically, the only two things we really record is the shop and excavating.
Yeah, the only real estate video you did was working on your new farm.
New farm, yeah. But
But
even
that still fell
and
under
then
Dirt
I would
Perfect.
say, out of all the excavating work we do, we probably record 50% of it.
Oh yeah, last year
Yeah.
definitely only 50%.
Yeah, there's a
maybe
lot of-
not even that much.
There's a lot of stuff that never makes YouTube. So I want to back up a little bit farther. We covered this in a podcast we had with you previous. So if you guys want to go back on the channel, look at the podcast list and find it. But first off, let's just kind of hit the basics of our relationships. We've known each other for
Long time.
15, 20 years.
Well, since 2005.
And basically, we both worked at a construction company together.
Yep.
Bernie hired you to be my assistant,
Yep.
AKA bitch.
Nope.
That's exactly what it was.
That didn't work, did it?
It did.
It did.
So from there, you split off and went to corporate America.
Yep.
I split off, I split off to be self-employed from our previous employer, which we did a job at his house, Bernie. We got video with Bernie, the guy we used to work for. We still
Yes.
talk to him. Great guy.
That was the first job for Bubba Dump.
Yeah, the very first job for Bubba Dump was at the guy's house we used to work for, where we kind of met. And you graduated with my wife? You were in the same class?
Jenna and I graduated together 2004.
So, and then was it 2019?
When we reconnected after corporate America and your
Yeah.
self-employment, yes.
So can you talk about any of that now?
I can talk about whatever you want.
So you want to
buddy.
talk about corporate America a little bit?
It sucks.
Well, I could have told you that. I've told people for years, I could have made a whole lot more money in corporate America, but I never would have been happy and I never would have been in control of my destiny. That's why I did what I did.
And you're spot on. Obviously, I don't know the
I need
monetary.
a longer cord for people watching on YouTube.
I'm trying to turn my head to look at the camera. And I'm like, oh, be careful. Be careful.
Mine's great.
Yeah. You're good.
Well, his is better because he's so short. He's closer to the
You see
board.
how far I'm sitting down in this chair just to ensure I have
I can
some
scoot the
extra length.
soundboard off. Okay, sorry, corporate America.
That's all right. So, monetarily speaking, making more money is relative to the person that you're speaking to. However, I tried the corporate America thing for 14 years, from 2006 through 2019. And the easiest and shortest story is I traveled 35 weeks a year. I've been to Asia 16 times, which everybody dislikes Asia now because of COVID. And I've traveled the world, which was great. However, I found out the hard way, you are just a number, and that's it.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, I know you from corporate America. My stepdad Barry's in corporate America. I think we all know people that went to corporate life, and a lot of people made a really good living at it, but it's just not for me.
Absolutely not for me anymore either.
So your choice to get out of corporate America at the time wasn't actually your choice.
No, it was forced, and there was no lubrication. And that's the truth. I can't specify the reasons why. However, I lost that corporate America job because of pending lawsuits, which is kind of typical in corporate America.
Yep, sounds about right.
And when certain individuals or companies think you're involved with what they're suing other people for, you happen to lose your livelihood overnight, is what it comes down to.
Which it was literally that fast.
Literally, from one day to the next, I went from, as you stated, you make really good money in corporate America, to zero.
So that's kind of where you and I kind of come back together, because you kind of had your hands tied too with some non-competes and some legal stuff going on.
Yep, 3-year non-compete, but what reconnected us was a pond that wouldn't hold water.
Well, I told you it wasn't going to hold water. That's why I wouldn't build it.
If you would have built it, we would have made it hold water.
Well, this kind of circles. This kind of circles back around to. The how we kind of got back together, because you were looking for something to do to keep you busy, keep you going, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I don't want any full-time employees, so you kind of had some free time to jump in from here and there. Started off with some labor. You kind of jumped over, helped it on the bidding a little bit, and now your non-compete's up.
Yep,
Which is why we're probably going to be seeing a little bit less of you.
correct. August 8th at 10:08 Eastern Time. The non-compete was up. Ask me how I remember that.
So we did the very first podcast we did with you. We mentioned that Matt may not be around as much. I guess we didn't tell Matt we did that podcast because everybody was on his channel blowing him up. Wanting to know what-
Comment after comment. What are you doing? Where are you going? We're not going to see you on DP's channel
Yeah.
anymore. And I'm like, no. It's not full disconnect. There will always be a relationship here.
Yeah.
Forever, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
So
But now that your non-compete's up, you can start going and pursuing some other opportunities back, kind of doing what you're doing within reason.
yeah, in a different arena, because the non-compete, what you got to be careful with in non-competes is it's not necessarily selling the same component. It's also necessarily not connecting with people from your past.
Right.
So it legitimately is a 3-year, don't talk to anybody. And honestly, that's hard, right? When you're in
Well,
sales.
especially if you work with them every day and you got
Absolutely.
sales is all about relationships, right?
That's exactly what it's about, which also explains the 3-year non-compete and the reason for the term. It's easy to lose a relationship in a day, let alone 3 years, right?
Yep.
So when it comes to that side of things, it's really hard because you just want to reach out and just see how they're doing if you care about what you did. So that was the hardest part for me. You couldn't really talk to anybody.
So circle back around to current day. Your relationship with Dirt Perfect now, I guess would be the best way to put it, is you still help do a lot of the bidding, which you have a company. You basically do that. You basically send me a bill from your company. So
Correct.
I buy your services.
I am a consultant that quotes your jobs.
Then whenever you work for me as labor, I just pay you as contract labor, basically hourly wage.
Correct.
And we go on. Basically, I send you a 1099. Now, I'm sure there's a bunch of people going to jump on here about legal mumbo jumbo, this, that, and the other. There is different categories to where you got to fall in as far as the amount of money you make, the time you work for me. I do carry workman's comp on you, but you're not technically an employee.
No, because
You're a contractor.
70% of my income or greater for 2 years or longer never happened.
Right.
So that is the easiest way to explain why I didn't have to be a direct employee. Plus, I am self-employed.
So the future, moving on, is we'll still see you on the channel from time to time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And,
At least I hope so.
Yeah. You still see you on the channel from time to time, but a lot more of what you're going to be doing is going to be behind the scenes instead of.
Excuse me? There's only one behind
Oh,
the
so
scenes.
trust me, lots of comments say I'm the real man behind the scenes. And obviously, maybe not everything that I quote, but the vast majority of what I quote for your business, I do video. So
On your channel.
So people have a precursory to what you have coming up. So all these comments I get about, well, we'll see this 2 years later. Yeah, they're correct. However,
Not two, it's like 2 months.
that's what they say. However, they at least know they're anticipating what you've got coming up, like the slide job that you have coming up. I released that quote video 3 or 4 months ago. We landed the job, but we haven't performed the work yet because Mother Nature won't
Right,
allow it.
and the videos that just released on YouTube of the repair behind the house behind another contractor.
Yes. Yeah, I
That-
quoted that, again, 2 months before we started that job. So everything that everybody sees on NYA Millennial is going to come in actual work for your channel eventually, right? It's hard. Everybody says, well, put a label to it. Let us know which job that is after you land it. Well, I don't know what you're going to call it, and you don't know what you're going to call it until you edit it, which in most cases is 6 months later.
Right. And then, so basically, yeah, going forward, you're still going to be working as contract labor. I'll still be buying your services for consulting or bidding, however you want to call it.
Yep.
We'll move on. A lot of that can be seen on your channel, obviously.
Yeah, they can go back and see where I keep an Excel file specifically for Dirt Perfect's jobs. So when it comes to man hours for the year, I've got a log of what has been quoted, and then getting this guy over here to actually tell me a schedule is really the hardest part
Well,
of it.
yeah,
because you don't know.
Yeah, and there's so much stuff that gets thrown in on there on top of it. But one thing I do want to say, just as a disclaimer, whenever you guys go to his channel to look at quote videos, you're very thorough about how you quote, our process of how we approach a job, how we go through it, how we lay it out, how we approach the customer. One thing they won't find is actual numbers, though.
Correct.
The reason for that is those numbers, in my mind, are not my numbers. They're actually the customer's numbers.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to be sharing the customer's information.
Yeah,
or
because
what-
let's be honest. All of our competitors locally, we're friends with anyway.
Right.
So the numbers, competition-wise, don't matter.
No.
But for that
and
customer's personal
let's
finances,
state the obvious. Nobody can compete with us.
I'll let you say that, but I agree. But honestly, it is the customer's information that we would be sharing, not
Yeah.
to our competitors.
It all has to do with the good side help he gets.
Most of it.
Employees, but it's good
Yeah.
side help.
Coming from
That's
the guy
where it
that
comes-
wasn't here all summer.
Yeah. Because when
I wasn't,
Aaron
was I?
works, I just put a 0 in the labor column because he normally doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he works for free. All right, so hopefully that kind of explains your situation, our relationship, kind of in a nutshell. I mean, going all the way back to where we're at now. So
Yeah. And if there will be a video on my channel that is titled "Who is NY Millennial," so they can understand my business a little bit more. But in regards to what my business does for your business, that is spot on.
Yep. So I guess we'll switch gears to the mystery man over here.
Man, I'm telling you, maybe I should have went first. Listening to you guys, I don't know what it's like. Yeah, it's put me to sleep. I don't know. I can't figure it out. Been a long day.
Wake up.
It's only noon.
I know, right?
All
We
right,
did feed him well.
So you and I have pretty much known each other our whole lives.
Yeah.
Your grandpa and my dad were good friends.
Yep.
Your dad and my dad were good
Yeah.
friends. Your dad bought a bar for my uncle.
Yeah. Your cousin's my cousin, and then your cousin on the other side of the
Oh,
family,
boy,
and my
maybe I
cousin.
should leave at this point.
It is weird. We are
I just-
not related.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, but we are not related. Let's be sure. We got some other connections we're just going to leave out of this as well.
Oh,
Good idea.
Yeah. Oh.
And
So-
you've made nothing but just excellent life decisions your whole life.
You better believe it.
Too bad you chose to be short.
Yeah.
That's the only bad one,
I'm
right?
just
I
trying to
think
figure out how come all of his siblings and his fathers got hair down to his knees and he can't get it past his ears.
And they're all a foot taller than me. I can't figure it out.
And their hair's 3 feet
But
longer.
none
than
of them
ours.
look as good as me.
I was getting ready to say that maybe he got the brains, but I don't think that's it either.
Yeah.
No, just good looks.
That's no joke. All right, so we just looked this up the other day. So me and you've known each other our whole lives. We've crossed
Yeah.
paths. We've ran around. We've been at family gatherings, but we really
Yep.
didn't kind of become good friends until was it 2016, 17?
Yeah, somewhere
I
around
would
there.
have guessed 15.
We just
We
looked
were
this
just
up.
looking that up too, and I can't remember what
I think
it was.
16. Because I said
16.
14. I was 2 years old.
Yeah,
Because it was before I was doing YouTube.
yeah. It was before you were doing YouTube.
So basically, we have another mutual friend that owns a big stadium company. I used to
Yep.
travel the country, helped them remove seats, and we were down at the Georgia Dome, Atlanta,
Yep.
Georgia, at the Georgia Dome.
I was sitting at camp enjoying vacation.
I tried to get your brother-in-law to go, but he bailed and gave me your number.
Yeah,
So I don't want to go into a whole bunch of details about this, but we've worked in, I don't know how many stadiums you've worked in. I've worked in 14
3.
major stadiums across the country. Dodgers, St. Louis, Mets, Dallas, I go on. But anyways, at this particular time, we were down in Atlanta at the Georgia Dome, and we were
Mm-hmm. you were
removing-
very mean. I wish we had an HR department back then. Now you go ahead.
So, I mean, there's Dale and his brother own the company, but whenever we get on site, I mean, would you say I was pretty much running the show? I mean,
You,
Tried, right, Aaron?
yeah. He
I know one thing
tried.
for sure. I took over there. We got to Alabama. Remember that guy that accused me of stealing seats?
Look, he's pointing his finger.
Yeah, I'm still peed off about that guy. I chewed him up one side, down the other, spit him out, and then he offered me a job.
My favorite part was, though, when we loaded these, we didn't have to worry about going overweight, loading these stadium seats in the truck. But the owner of the company was so impressed that I got twice as many, I shouldn't say twice as many, but I got like 10 more seats in the truck than Mr. Famous DP here.
You know why? Because he's short enough he'd crawl up top.
Yeah, but he could reach up top. I had to crawl up there. So
We've both got in big trouble for shipping stuff back home we weren't supposed to.
yeah.
Like mannequins with ketchup on
Yeah.
them. Trees.
Palm trees.
Palm trees.
Weren't there some flagpoles involved too at the one
No, that's
point
a
in
different
time?
job.
Yeah.
We could do a whole podcast about stadium stories.
Yes, we could.
Oh my goodness.
But where I get to the mean cruel part, so I go down there and I'm trying to do a good job. Working with and working with a lot
And
of
I
guys that
told
don't
Aaron, I
have
said,
the
listen, I
hands
said,
on.
you're going to be my number 2 guy. I said, we got to get this done. We got to hammer this out. So
I went from number 2 to number 1 real quick. I got paperwork to do. Let me go take care of this paperwork with this truck driver. And
keep
then I'd
in
have
mind,
to load
I was
him.
down there 2 weeks before he ever showed up.
So I got just as much done missing
In
out on 2
half the
weeks.
time.
Yeah. But I'm sitting there, I'm on the fork truck, I'm running up, top level. All
Which
of
is
a
a
sudden,
long trip on a fork truck.
I meet him or something as I was getting ready to take off. So I get about halfway
No,
up.
I caught
and
you
it
on the
died.
mezzanine level, remember? Which is
Yeah,
about halfway.
yeah, we were on the mess
Is
deck.
this the same time that it ran out of fuel?
Yes, ran up.
Okay.
So I'm in panic mode. I don't even think, I get back there, I'm taking the tank off, and he had it cracked just a little bit.
So we could get almost to the
And I'm packing this thing back down. I'm carrying it, okay? I'm carrying it back
This
down.
empty tank.
The
right?
empty tank. But with the strength I got, I didn't realize. I didn't know if it was empty, full. I
With
couldn't
the
tell.
strength he's got.
Notice he didn't say brains.
And they asked me what I'm doing. And I tell them, I ran out of gas up there. I guess I should check this before I came up. And they're like, I don't think your tank's empty. And I was like, are you kidding me? Well, I done get a full one. We get the full one up there. Well, then they admit that they did turn the gas off on
Sabotage.
me. Yes. Yeah. So that's how I got treated. Go down to bail him out, and that's how I get treated.
Absolutely.
And it ain't changed. Just like that in the shop.
Every day.
I'm just laughing at Sam Sprinkle trying to give that crane guy directions.
But let's take
I
all
had
of
to be there,
this.
Bob.
Let's take all of this into
man.
consideration. This is every day.
Okay.
Right?
That was good. He was thinking about what he was wanting to do.
You want to talk about what was it? Not Shoguns, hibachi?
Yes.
Yeah. So we go to this hibachi. Is it hibachi?
Yeah.
Steakhouse.
Yeah.
So it's like the
Brazilian. It was the Brazilian steakhouse. Yeah.
Like
Brazilian
second to last.
steakhouse.
Meat, lots of meat.
Oh, yeah.
Second to last night there. Okay. We had,
I'll take chicken.
yeah. Yeah. No,
Imagine that.
he's right. So they're bringing around all this bloody meat, and I'm like, oh, we got to work tomorrow. And it was like the middle of July, no air conditioning in this place, hot as hell. None of the bathrooms were.
Can I get fries with them chicken nuggets?
So, they're coming around like, ooh, that ain't gonna look good in the morning. Oh, I don't know about that. Oh, chicken looks all right. I'll try chicken. So they make fun of me all night long. Guess what? Next day, I don't see any of them. They're all hugging the porcelain thrones.
Were you praying to the
Hugging or
porcelain god?
sitting. Yeah. It was pretty rough, but I don't.
Me and my chicken got along just fine, by the way.
I think they tried roofing me. Is what happened. I don't think it was the food.
No, that would have been the guy outside the hotel with the red velvet. Oh, we were getting. I'm telling you, we can do a whole podcast.
Oh, we could.
We could
My
do like
favorite
multi-
part. My favorite part was when that Lamborghini got dropped off, and I was standing out there acting like it was mine.
Then the owner showed up. And Aaron's like, just let me sit in it real quick.
Did he say yes?
Oh, I sat in it. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
It was some rapper, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was some. I can't remember what his name was. Yeah, he's a
I think
professional
you
rapper.
should try to say his name.
Do you still have that red velvet rope we took?
Yep, I still got it. Yep,
you
I
really?
still got it.
Don't ask him where it's at.
I don't
No,
know.
actually,
I know where it come from.
and I think it might be coming out here
Oh, boy.
with my red carpet.
Hey, that metal cutting saw over there come from down
Yep.
there. We snuck that on a trailer.
I did hear that.
We got
So-
the TV over in the corner come from there.
Yeah,
We got a lot of good stuff from that job.
Again, everybody be mindful. They did not steal it. They
No,
were given
no.
permission.
Whenever we were at the stadium, the company I worked for had total control of the stadium.
Yes.
And then, which basically means that Dale and Jim were worried about seats, and I was worried about the stadium. And we made really good friends.
yes.
Yeah, man, it gets complicated, but we were in on the memorabilia. The seats were considered memorabilia.
Mm-hmm.
And on that one, we were in there with an auction service. So
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
sometimes we hire the auction service, sometimes the auction service hires us. And on this one, we hired the auction service. So we were getting the seats out, but we had the auction service in there getting everything else out.
Right.
So basically for, was it 3 weeks?
Yeah, you get it for, I think it was 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
What,
The entire stadium.
Yeah, I mean, I
entire
went out to
stadium.
the dock and made people unload trailers because they were loading up stuff. It wasn't.
Yes.
I was not a very liked person down there
Gotcha.
at all.
I'm one of them that didn't like him.
I can see why.
So, and then what they do is it just said they got 500 ice coolers. Well, they'll auction 400 of them off. They'll sell the best 400, and then you got 100 of them left in case one gets damaged or something's wrong with one. So once they fulfill all their orders, you can just cherry pick whatever's
Because
left.
they have to go.
Yeah, they have to go. But if you got 500, they don't want to sell 500.
Yep.
Because the chances of 500 of them be
It's-
there in working order is slim to none.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
because they were running on time schedule because they were demobbing at the stadium, so they were blasting.
Well, and they were already running behind because
And,
they were
yeah.
having big issues with the other stadium, and they didn't know
Yep.
whether or not they were going to tear this one down. They didn't know they were going to use it or not. They finally got to a point where they're
Yep.
confident
Yep.
that the new stadium was going to go. Well, we were like 3 weeks late getting down there, or 3 months late. We were supposed to be down
Yeah.
there in March. We didn't get down there to July.
Now, is this the same stadium that, you just mentioned they don't know if they're going to tear it down or not, but the wrecking ball came through the wall?
No,
while you
that
were
was
there?
No.
that was St. Louis.
Okay.
That was Busch Stadium in St. Louis.
So definitely a disconnect on scheduling there, huh?
Oh man, let me tell you, I ain't got time for Busch Stadium. I could go on for weeks about that place. That's the
But-
place that I got so mad at the union that I wasn't allowed to talk to him no more. They had to hire a liaison.
To follow you around?
Yeah, and then I'd holler at him, and then he'd turn
That-
around and holler at that guy, and then before it was all over, we were hollering at each other, and then they were going to fire me, and then it was a big deal.
Seems consistent
Yeah,
Everywhere he goes.
everywhere he goes.
I'm a lot nicer here than what I am on the big job.
Speak
He
for
thinks.
yourself.
I was just going to say, he thinks he is, doesn't he?
I don't know if I like this tag team thing.
You're
Not
welcome.
for sure how I'm having second thoughts about
You ordered
whole
this up for yourself.
thing. All right, we got way off
Yeah.
track.
Back to
Normal, into the weeds. So you had 3 questions at the beginning of this podcast. One was, how many employees do you have? And I said
Yeah.
0. What were the other 2?
I done forgot. We got to figure out how I know him first.
one of the other questions was what we really do. That was number 3.
Yeah.
And I don't remember.
Yeah. So
first.
what is your like full time job there, dude?
So, actually, this month I went into my 22nd year of or 21st year of boiler making. Well, it's full time job.
You're not old
part-time.
enough for that many years.
Yeah.
When did you start when you were
Wait.
16?
When did I start? 17.
I was
17
close.
years
I
old.
was close.
Yes. Yep. So I started when I was 17 and active member up to this day yet. In my older age, I'm slowing down a little bit, not working as much.
And now you see why we blame him for all the bad welds.
Yeah. So explain what a Boilermaker is, if people don't know.
So Boilermakers, basically what we do, it's Boilermakers Blacksmiths, is majority of our work's refineries, coal-fired power plant. You got your coal gasification plants, steel mills, do a lot of work in the steel mills, shipyards, do a lot of work in shipyards, but that's the majority of our work.
So you don't make boilers?
We no. Yes, we put them together
In the facility.
in the facility. Yeah.
See what I deal with?
I'm trying to help you define that a little bit more. Because
so that's
everybody
how-
hears Boilermaker and they're like, oh, you make boilers. Well, sort
Yeah.
of.
Yeah, but you guys deal. But so that's kind of why you're able to help me, because you got your seniority and you got your hours
Yes.
in. You go hit a lot of the big outages,
Yes.
run some of the work.
Yep.
And then you get laid off for 2-3 months at a time, depending on what's going on. And then with Matt having to pull back on doing some of his stuff, we're hoping you get to stick around a little more.
Yeah.
And you still got to work enough to keep everything current
Yeah.
and keep the bills paid.
Keep
But
the bills paid.
hopefully the plan is we're going to see a whole lot more of you on the channel. So I hope everybody
yeah,
likes it.
it's just our Matt Curse that we got. Matt Curse, my other boss. It's just I got to keep him happy. That's the main thing. Keep him happy.
You got one power plant you work at you really like.
Yep.
They like you, a bunch of good people there.
Yes.
So that's
That's-
instead of hopping around and catching every
Like
job
I
you
have been
possibly
doing.
can,
Yeah.
you're going to focus on keeping that plant running.
Yep.
Which is,
Staying there.
I guess that's the most. I guess other than Rockport, that's the most local one. Ain't it?
Yeah. It's the closest one to us.
So that works out. Should work out pretty good for everybody involved.
Mm-hmm.
Is the plan, as long as like everybody can handle you on the channel.
Yeah, that's going to be the key part here.
I don't know if it's everybody. I think it's more if I can handle you.
Oh, and it's been going the other way. It's if I can handle you here lately.
So everybody's going to ask the question,
So-
does that make
Oh.
Aaron a full-time employee for Dirt Perfect?
So there is a chance he's going to become the closest thing we have.
Yeah, but we got back. We were on our question kick here.
Yep.
And one of the questions was about how his filming, how much they film, or how much he actually films. Well, I want to go into something
Oh,
I have
boy.
noticed today on camera. I had to get after him a little bit because his filming is starting to slow me down. He's losing his touch. He needs to pick it up.
Losing his touch.
He
No,
is.
here's the problem.
He keeps
I spend-
losing his camera.
I spend more time looking for my camera than I do actually do recording.
Every day, Aaron.
It's worse in this shop. I don't know what it is in this shop.
Don't
I
let
assure
him.
you, the percentage we talked about earlier of videoing 50% or 25%, 25% of the time is spent trying to find the camera.
It's been
It's
more
usually
like
right where
50.
I left it.
I guarantee it is.
No, here's the best part is when you're on a truck and he goes underneath, he just sticks it anywhere he wants up
Wherever.
underneath there. And then it's like, oh boy. So what I'm really looking at doing is getting like a GPS locator.
Tracker.
Yeah, tracker to put on that.
Yes, yes. And honestly, do you remember the time that he ran it over with the skid steer and blamed it on you?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I know I didn't put it on the skid steer. We walk up the
I want to
driveway.
bring up one
There it
thing
is.
here. I've been doing YouTube for going on 5 years. I've only ruined 2 cameras.
5 years.
I said going on 5 years.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
four. That's 4.5.
Part of a thumb, just part of a
My
thumb.
thumb don't bend. I broke it. That's 4.5. 5 years. I've never lost a camera.
Destroyed how many?
2.
No,
Destroyed 2.
I don't think he's telling the truth.
he ain't.
I ran over 2 GoPro 8s. One's the one you guys were talking about, and I'm trying to remember. The other one got ran over by, no, it's a GoPro 7. I got ran over by the roller in Deanna's driveway.
Yeah, I do remember that one too.
That's the only 2 I've destroyed.
There's been more.
There's one I
Seven.
had. There's one. I GoPro 7 went through the brush truck on the front hill, and Lefty's Garden sent us a metal detector, and the kids ended up finding it, and I still use it. It's a GoPro 7 I still use.
No, it's pretty mangled up.
It still works.
We can't get him on that one, can we?
No,
It still works. It's the one that I use for shots that I don't care about. Like, I remember doing the mulcher video, the one we bought went on the 3.0 inch of the tractor.
oh yeah.
I thought for sure it was going through that thing and never did.
And the water level in the creek, because you
Water
said you
level in the
didn't
creek.
care about the camera.
Yeah.
I do remember that now.
The camera, I put it on Jeff's race car. Come
Oh,
back.
yeah.
Remember it had the whole lens busted out
Yeah,
of it? Still
yep.
works.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, still got it. But I don't go through as much camera gear as everybody thinks I do.
Oh, I have one. So
Yeah.
it's not like
I got a GoPro 10, which is what we're recording on now. Only reason I use it's for the wireless mics. Got a GoPro 9 I never use.
you hate
My-
that thing.
My daily camera that I use pretty much daily is a GoPro 8. So
Same here.
It works out pretty good. So,
Yep.
but so anyway, so Aaron is not. You're basically contract labor
Yeah.
up to now. Starting here shortly, you may be the first employee that gets a W-2.
Yeah, we're gonna do a live on that. I'm gonna sign the papers in
There
front of
you go.
everybody.
Yeah, and make sure you video the part where he signs the check,
Yes,
because he's gonna be shaking.
Now, in my defense, before you 2 knotheads come around, I used to have a bunch of employees, and I got rid of them all because I couldn't like them. No, I
Hence the
shouldn't say
reason
that.
why I'm saying
I
you're
don't
going to be
know.
shaking. Not because you didn't like them, but because you remember having a bunch of employees.
Yeah, no, I when we had the construction business, I can't say that. We had a bunch of good people that worked for us, but it's I
yeah.
don't want to get back there.
So I done kind of started moving in. Got my fridge
He
here.
literally moved in. He's got his fridge over there.
I got a drawer full of clothes.
And I heard there's some renovations going to happen.
Yep, that's what I'm trying to talk him into. I told him I don't need
couch,
a bedroom, a couch.
a break room,
Yep.
Maybe he'll
paperwork area.
Yep.
Maybe instead of working for pay, he'll just work for rooming. Like the olden days.
room and board.
Yeah, we can do that. It don't take much for me. I want to get a water fountain in here too, like a
think you
drinking
should.
water fountain.
He was on the eye wash kick for a while. He kept getting stuff in his eyes.
Well, honestly,
Oh.
that probably is needed.
Eye wash. So you want to know about eye wash? I found out yesterday about eye wash. Somebody sprayed my eye full of brake fluid.
Nice.
Twice.
Oh, twice.
He looked at it both times.
We had that hose. We're trying to bleed something out. Won't go into scratching on what. And I was holding it. I was like, I can't hardly hold it anymore. And I let go. And for some reason, it sprays right in my face twice. Not in his, but mine.
You got hydraulic fluid in your eyes this year too.
Oh,
yeah.
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 On the D4.
Did that
and,
too.
And just for the record, I want
I was
everybody
sabotaged
to
on that
know.
one.
I told Mike at Dirt Perfect, his biggest struggle is going to be getting Aaron to leave.
I think Jenna likes it, though. 'Cause I don't get in the house till like 8 o'clock.
Yeah. I don't think he likes it. He gets quiet on me every now and then. It gets too late for him. I can tell when he gets mad at me because he gets real quiet.
Well, just bring chicken nuggets next time.
and crispy fries.
Oh my goodness! All right, so now we know how everybody knows each other.
Yep.
Now
Yeah.
you two didn't know each other until you both started working for me.
One time prior to that, but it was in-laws / cousins / gathering.
Yeah.
And I also have a best friend that's a Boilermaker who works with Aaron,
Yeah.
Yep.
for Aaron sometimes, et cetera,
Yep.
et cetera, that's been in the trades for a long time as well. So we were acquaintances prior to this.
So you gonna tell
Yeah.
everybody how you hated Matt's guts whenever you first started?
Oh, I've heard this story, but go ahead.
Yeah. So the one that got me the worst
He still goes on about this.
was the river. That was when my knee accident happened too.
The river.
I don't
Yeah.
think Matt knows anything about any of this.
The river?
I don't think Matt really knows how bad you hated him.
Oh yeah, when I blew my knee
I
out.
only know this from
You
the
were-
Boilermaker buddy that I have.
you were up top. You're like, well, if you got this, I'm gonna sit up here. I got some paperwork to do, and you were
This was
up
putting
top.
up the. We didn't record this job.
No, it was just us.
Is this where you got kind of bumped on the log?
No, this was
the
fixing the
steps.
handrail going down
The handrail.
steps.
Oh, you're talking about
Yeah.
down at camp.
Yeah.
Okay.
And well, you were up there, and I was hollering, then I have to get up. Well, you got to remember, we got the welder setting up there.
Yep,
It's
yep.
going.
Yeah, the big
And
welder.
So I get up there, then I'm carried down. You're like, oh, you need help? I was like, no, I got it. I get down there. I'm trying to hold it up. I can't brace it. So it was a little crooked, but I made it work. I got to the point where it was a beep it, it's good.
Yep.
And got it on. Oh, I was about ready to kill somebody.
So what Aaron
Oh.
didn't realize that day is I was working for Mike, doing quotes, and handling calls from my potential
think Aaron-
customers,
I don't
and he
think
didn't care.
Aaron did.
Oh,
Like Aaron
I
gave
came back to him. I said, if you can't have me somebody down here that can be right next to me helping me, I said, I'm not doing it.
And
So here-
I was not told that Aaron needed someone next to him either.
But here's the problem. This is proof that I spoil him.
Yeah, I'll send a guy your way, but just I'm not going to tell him that he won't be involved at all.
So I'm telling Michael, I'm like, I don't know how much you're paying this guy. Okay, you got to remember, we've been working together maybe a month, 2 months at this point.
I don't even know if it was that
It may
long.
not have been that long. But anyway, so I'm like, I don't know how much you're paying him, but I said, I wouldn't pay him a dime for today. I was hot. And no, I didn't know what you're doing, but I just thought you were on the phone and I ratted you out. I ain't gonna lie.
That
I'm
wasn't
like, he
the
was
case,
on his
but
phone
I'm okay with
the
you
whole
ratting me out.
time. Said, I'm down there. He's like, oh, no, I'll come down and help you next time. Never did tell me
No.
what was going on.
But I did help
But-
you load the welder up, get all your stuff down the steps, and your material unloaded. So the
Yeah,
help that
the-
I was told you needed, I provided.
The
How's
material.
this becoming my fault?
It absolutely is your fault. Because if I would have been
You two are
told,
supposed to hate each other. I'm supposed
no,
to be getting over it.
if I would have been told, hold Aaron's hand for everything he does, I'd have been right there.
Yeah.
You need a hammer, buddy? How about the little whatever thing you use to knock off your whatever your welding terms are?
Slag hammer.
There
Slag
you go,
hammer,
slag
yeah.
hammer. Because that was one thing he did holler up there. I need a beeping hammer. Coming right up, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was I mean, it
Where
was.
was I at? I had to go do something, didn't I?
Oh, I'm sure you were on the phone too.
Yeah. You were probably at a restaurant eating.
I know what he was doing.
Meetings.
Looking for his camera.
It's probably a good possibility looking for the camera. That's a legitimate statement there. So anyway, you two didn't get off on the best foot.
No.
No, and you weren't no help to that because I just figured he was on his phone talking to his wife or whatever he was doing.
Which was not the case, but I can see where you could see that.
Yeah.
He didn't know who I was.
Oh, and then
I
a
knew
footer
more
job.
about him
And then a
than me.
footer job.
Oh, was that over at Kentucky?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
Hallsville?
That was the other one. You
ICF
go
house?
up.
Yeah, I think it was.
So can they see my knee so I can show them my knee?
It's a podcast.
Oh,
so-
they're not going to look, are they?
well,
Dang it.
if they watch it on YouTube.
But so I
they might be able
got
to.
a really bad knee, which we've showed it on YouTube a couple times. But we were doing that footer, and you went up on a phone conversation while we
was
were
at-
driving the pins in that
was at
rock.
Haycrafts.
Yeah,
I remember Haycraft's job.
Yeah.
yeah. When we were doing the footer, you went up on the phone again, and I was like, and that's where I told Michael, I said, listen, and I wasn't upset. I just told him, I said, listen, I ain't in the best shape for this. I'm not doing this. I said, if you ain't got somebody that can help me do this, we can't hire somebody to do this, I ain't doing it. because I just can't be on my knee.
Right. I remember another job that you obviously weren't upset with me on this one, but Jeremy Pates, when you had to handle the grade rod all day, and you left that job and you were like, I can't feel my knee. I said, I'll take care
Is
of
that
it
the
tomorrow.
same job he was doing backflips on over there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you remember, you put me in the 140 because you hated it, and I was digging the core. You were pushing out the core, and Aaron was running the grade rod all the way around so you didn't cut too far over against that property
up
line.
against the,
Yep.
Yep.
and you guys switched the next day.
Because Aaron,
So-
again, was to get his way.
No,
That's what
Matt-
it comes down to.
If
Yeah.
Matt Kirsch was here, he'd tell you why that knee's so bad.
I wasn't going to
on
go
to
there,
the
but I'm
knee.
glad you did.
On the knee. On a serious note, so I've been to Lusk, Dr. Lusk, Whipkenberg, and Dr. Eby.
I'm
And
personally taking you to therapy on multiple.
Yeah, you have.
and Michael has had to take me to therapy, and nobody can figure out what's wrong with it. Nobody can give me a fix. It's just, well, let it fill up with fluid and let it go down on its own.
It comes and
comes and goes.
I think you should get a prosthetic. I don't like your serious note, Aaron. That's not you. Come on now.
I know it ain't, but
He'd take you
oh
off and
my
beat you with it.
God. I tell you, it swells up size of I can't say baseball because it's already bigger than a baseball. My knee. But, basketball, okay? But it swells up, and I mean, when it flares up, I can't do nothing. I'm done. But,
So a half full-time employee.
I can't
Yeah.
tell when he's flared and not flared.
Yeah. So, okay, back to all this then. I'll confirm this for everybody. You have taken him to therapy multiple times because on that same house over in Kentucky, somebody had to pour footers with one other guy for the garage and loved the other guy to death.
that's right.
But I'm here to tell you, this boy about died because you had to go to therapy. So you paid me back, you know what? Yeah.
yeah.
He might have got the short end of the stick.
Yeah,
I
he did.
definitely got the short end of the stick.
That was
100%.
That was the
Yeah.
upstairs garage because I was going to come over to help you, and then the other guy come over because I had to take him to therapy.
Yeah.
Why was I driving you to therapy? It's not like you couldn't drive.
I mean, I could drive just fine. I know
Because
what
it's
it was.
Aaron.
No. Anytime, what we do is we drive out. I don't know why you went, really. I have no clue.
Because
Oh,
he didn't want to
because-
pour footers.
He did exactly.
No, it's because
exactly.
he had to have something on his email. He didn't have email on his phone, so he was using my email or something like that.
No.
I know.
You wanted to get out of Port Butters.
I know that's what it was.
That's what it was.
Yeah, so you see, I'm not the problem.
Because
someone
we even-
else is the problem.
Then he's like, "Oh, you want to swing by the patio and get something to eat?"
oh yeah, let's
I'm like,
take as
"Yeah."
long as we
I
can.
think we at least called and invited them, see if he was done.
Yeah, so I called, still out of breath, and I'm like, well, they're poured. They might not be perfect, but they're poured, and I'm never going to do that again.
Oh, yeah, I forgot all about that.
Oh, the good old days.
Yeah,
Yeah. I will admit that house did turn out exceptionally well
Yep.
for everything that was odd about it with its location.
That was honestly
It was-
our last big ICF job we did.
It was.
yeah. And the longest, the weather.
Yeah.
Remember the weather?
That-
getting-
that's why I say with all the outliers
Yeah.
to its location.
Yeah, and man, that was a heck of a hole to dig with that 140. Holy cow, that was a big hole.
I bet you
Yeah.
the elevational change for material being brought in was what, 100 feet an elevation up
yeah,
the hill?
Straight, yeah, it was pretty.
That's where I
Yeah.
ripped the bumper off of the Swift trailer with the D4 on
Yeah.
video.
It was swift. It's probably been loosened up a few times in the past.
Yeah, well, it was funny. The driver said, hook to the bumper. I'm like, no, that's not where I need to hook. No, hook to the bumper. It'll be fine. 30 seconds later, bumper's ripped off the truck. He left with it ratchet strapped back to the trailer.
Sounds about like Swift. So we'll kind of circle back around to this. So honestly, the true reality of it is, what makes what we do a whole lot of fun is we do all get along pretty good for the most part.
Absolutely. Even
Now.
though Aaron hates me.
Now,
And we
Mutual
got,
feeling.
And we got another one that comes and goes quite a bit, Captain Kleeman.
Absolutely.
yeah.
He's got, if you guys watch his channel, he's got a lot of his own, excuse me, a lot of his own stuff going on up there. But he comes and goes quite a bit. We help him, he helps us.
Very beneficial when we're on big jobs and needing to move equipment for the
Well,
next
especially
job.
in the summertime when we're busy, just having him driving the truck, hopscotching equipment around.
Since he's not here to speak for himself, you gonna speak for him? How's he feel about me and Matt?
Ask that question again. How does he feel about me?
Me and you. How's Captain feel about me and you? He wants to.
Captain don't like anybody.
He said he loves me.
To
So
your
he's
face.
lying to me.
To your face.
Oh yeah.
No, Captain is a good dude.
Yeah.
All in all, through and through.
Captain is one of those guys, and I mean this with the utmost respect. Like if you meet us in person, what you see on camera is what you're going to get.
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
Like I always tell everybody, we are not smart enough to.
actors.
Smart enough to be actors. But
No.
Captain Kleeman, like on camera, he's a chatterbox.
Uh-huh.
In person, he don't say 2 words.
No, he is
Unless
quiet.
you make him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not in a bad way, but
No.
He's
one of
quiet like me.
You're so full
Right.
of crap. I'll give an
Okay.
example. For the first 2 months of me working with Michael,
because I met Kleeman the same way. He was my bitch at the.
he was your what?
You notice I wasn't. Just you and Cleveland.
No. You don't know when he calls you off podcast and camera. But
I don't
honestly,
even know what I. But okay, you guys are hard to-
Savior? Savior?
No.
I'm his savior?
Disaster.
yeah,
Miniature
disaster.
tornado. He's like start calling you devil, Tasmanian devil.
Tasmanian. Yep. Taz.
But,
That's your new nickname now, Taz.
But yeah. Anyways, Captain is. Me and his relationship's pretty similar to our relationship.
Yep.
Met working together. But yeah, he's super quiet, super shy, super reserved. YouTube's been good for him because he's got a way to get out of his get out of his comfort zone a little bit, and he's a lot more comfortable on camera than what he is.
Well,
with
when we're
people.
around, we make him talk. And you
Yeah.
can tell he doesn't want to at first, but we just keep pressing him.
Yeah,
until
well, I
he
mean, he
talks.
gets to know you.
Yeah.
But even,
Yeah.
I mean, I've known the guy for 15,
So that's
17
what I
years.
understand. He always talks to me like we're best friends. I must be his best friend.
Probably got
You might be.
You probably got services he wants.
Welding services.
Good job specifying.
But I have heard that he's going to be giving me a run for my money.
He's gotten better.
I heard
but
he's
think
getting good.
he's
I ain't got to go up there. I feel bad because I have had no time between my part-time job and my part-time job to find time to get up there and teach him a few tricks.
Yeah.
He's learning them all on his own.
But you
And
know, sometimes that's the best way to learn.
yeah,
them the
it
hard
is. It is. Yep.
Honestly, whenever I first met Captain, like, I think he needed instructions to sharpen a pencil. I mean, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but he was not mechanically inclined. He didn't have a lot of construction experience. He was about as green got. And the one reason that me and him got along is he showed interest in all of it. And if somebody shows interest, I don't mind,
Yep.
teaching them and mentoring them. And
But he did know a lot about fireworks. That boy knows his fireworks now.
he maybe got a little bit of trouble too.
Well, that's not where I was going.
Yeah, but
you,
no.
you want someone that can put a good fireworks show on locally?
Yeah.
That's your man
Yeah.
right there.
So, but that's where Captain Kleeman, and then of course, whenever I left the construction business, Captain Kleeman come with me. He was my main guy for almost 7 years in our construction, and then he went and did. He's doing the firefighting service, and then still helps me from time to time. And I still help him out and do whatever I can. And he's going to Vegas with us.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's going to be fun.
he don't show up on my channel as much as what he used to, because most of what he does for me, he does solo.
Yep.
He'll
and
go
it's
do,
on his channel.
He'll go do small jobs. He'll go do trucking, and what he does working for me is usually on his channel. So you guys don't see him on my channel as much as what you see you guys, but he still helps me out quite a bit.
Yeah, he's still involved quite a bit. I mean, he was just working on the CD500 not too long ago,
Yep.
welding in the bed because he wanted to get some more welding experience because he heard Aaron was coming back. So
I may need to climb up in there and check them out.
do an inspection.
QC
Yeah.
to his list.
I'll take over QC from here on.
So
you
what?
go.
I know the answer to this question, but everybody always wants to know what it's like working here, working with me, working on YouTube. I mean, it's not a whole lot different than normal. I mean,
There is no difference of on camera versus off camera.
well, I'm just saying.
Other
like,
than the type of words we use sometimes.
well-
that might be a little different.
Not to get too far off subject with that,
No,
but
but-
like,
put on your seatbelt.
okay.
We're going down a road here.
yeah, here we go.
Here's the rabbit hole.
I'm gonna
Y'all
make
ready?
this short and sweet though.
Like
Nothing's
yourself?
ever short.
Is that where you're going?
Sweet like me. Okay, but one thing.
Please wait till I'm done drinking before you say something like
It
that.
burns, doesn't it? It burns.
So one thing I really enjoy and I love about it out here, working with him, is he okay?
Hold on,
I'm not an employee.
I want to make
I'm
sure
not-
that's recorded. So I can get to-
Yeah. You're not gonna hear me say you're right, but
You just did.
there you go. Oh my
Phyllis
gosh.
so excited.
Here it goes. Oh man. Okay. So this you're right's got to stop. It's got to
you're
stop.
gonna-
So
He's
let
going
me-
to copy
you're gonna need to
and
clean that up
paste
later.
that multiple times.
Great idea. Time mark 51:12.
Now you're gonna hear something you don't see, but hear that often. But I'm getting serious again. What I like about working with him, and I'm not an employee, but I'm gonna call him a boss. So my boss will get in and work just as hard as us, right there with us. That's what I love about it. Your bigger companies, your bosses, you don't see them besides when they pull up in their Lexus.
So what do you say about all these guys that see me pick up a shovel on YouTube and they have a freak outfit that I'm doing manual labor?
I think they need to try to grab one and try it. I honestly, I think that if you're down the field and you're on a shovel, like Matt, shoveling is not one of the easy things to do.
No.
And I appreciate a boss that's willing to jump down there and give you a hand.
So
Because
I-
you need it. You
I guess-
really need
Absolutely.
it.
I guess my point is a lot of people on YouTube, I get comments, I grab a shovel one time, and everybody's like dumbfounded. I'm like, I'm just as apt to get down the hole as anybody. I just don't always record it.
And yeah,
But we do like to bust, as you know what, saying that he doesn't
Yes.
do that.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but you guys both know if I'm putting in top, I need to jump down a muddy hole or whatever we're doing.
yeah.
Every time you will ask.
Or if you're doing something struggling, it's a crap job. I'll give you a break. Let me in there.
Yeah.
Let me have at it for a minute.
Now, one thing I will make sure to point out about the shovel work, his battery is like really fast, but very short-lived. And then it's like, I have to stay consistent all day, so I'm not working that fast with a shovel because I've got to do this for hours.
I think that has more to do with my patience.
Yeah, and in the big industrial world, with as far as operators, laborers, and all that go, that's one thing I couldn't stand is them not being able to help you.
Absolutely.
And if they make a mess, I make a mess, I'm gonna take care of it.
Yep.
I'm gonna clean that mess up. Well, in the big world, they don't do that.
No.
That operator don't leave that seat to come help.
Well,
And-
I'll get your guys' opinion on this, but I feel like here, whether it's Matt, you or me, I think we're all on the same level. Nobody's too
Yeah.
good or nobody's up above each
No.
other. Like, I don't care to do everything you do. You don't care to do anything he does. Obviously, I'm not tooting my own horn here, but I'm a little more skilled on the equipment, so that's usually the place
Yeah.
I'm at first. But if I need to hop off and help somebody,
Yeah.
Well, take that a step further. You're also willing to put us half butters in the equipment in the seat so we can get better at
you
it.
know, and I get a lot of slack for that. How come I'm not teaching you guys? How come I don't give you seat time? And you guys do get a lot of seat time, and
I don't know if you're just not recording
I
us
guess
or
not.
what.
And I mean, and I don't do it a whole lot on camera because I don't want to look bad on you guys, but I feel like I coach you quite a bit. Like,
Absolutely. You
Yeah.
can't make us look any worse than we do naturally.
Right.
So go ahead and video it.
you know, like you on the excavator now,
Yep.
you've got the movements down pat, so now I'm trying to teach you cycle patterns and setting up the job, and then you've got really good on the dozer.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got to get you some more time on the excavator. Both of you are pretty good on the skid steer, but if I see something that's going that I can help you out, I'll
Yes.
jump in there and give you some pointers or say, hey, why don't you attack it from this way or come in this way or this, that, and the other. And every once in a while, you guys stumble across the nut and figure something out I
The
haven't.
thing I find the most intriguing, he's right-handed, I'm left-handed.
I'm left-handed too.
So when
there's our
I
problem, Houston.
so exactly two really key people here being left-handed. right?
Yeah.
And
but-
who's right?
But
Not
look,
saying
you
you.
used your left hand to say you're right. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Backwards in the camera.
Yeah, it is. So, but honestly, when I'm in the excavator and I'm moving dirt to a spoil pile, mine is always on the left and yours is always on the right. And I'm like, why is that? And then I just got to thinking about it. I just always swing to the left where you always tell me, well, set up and go this way. Well, for you, that seems right. For me, it's backwards, just because I guess the way my brain works. So I'll set the truck up completely opposite the way you set the truck up, but it's the exact same motion, just the opposite direction.
Yeah, as long as your cycle times are the same, and we don't get into a lot of
Massive dirt quantity.
massive dirt quantities where cycle times. I mean, some of these ponds and stuff we do, but a lot of stuff we do is just the small details on setting up the job, like retaining wall jobs, material placement, access points, and stuff like that make all the difference in the world.
Well, when Aaron was here this past summer, I know there was a certain point at a pole barn pad we were doing. You said, move that rock to this area. And we both looked at each other and said, nope, we're going to let him do it because we'll never do that right.
Well, I mean, let's be fair.
It is.
I've got thousands of hours on equipment.
Correct.
You guys have got hundreds of hours on equipment.
If hundreds,
yeah.
honestly.
So honestly, the skill level you guys have at your point in your careers on equipment, it's probably exceeds the skill level I had at my in my point in my career. And I mean, that's a whole other set of circumstances. But I had to learn it all by myself because my mentor was my dad, and he passed away, and I didn't really have anybody else. So it was just a school of hard knocks. So it makes me happy being able to kind of pass it on. I know your dad's a very, very good operator. Your grandpa was too, but you just never quite went down the operating path.
No.
Now you put us in Bubba Dump. We got that going on.
Oh, we got that.
Or on the roller.
Oh, the roller,
yeah.
the roller.
I don't know why he loves that stupid roller.
I like that roller. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it beats me up and it makes me feel good. It's I don't know.
Open air, able to do paperwork, take off when you want.
Because
I think
that
he likes
and the
the roller.
D4, the D4. I love the D4 too.
I think he likes the roller because he only has to work like half the day because he's waiting on somebody the rest of the
Sitting in
day.
the shade the other half.
Paperwork.
Oh my goodness! But yeah, I mean we have a good time. I feel like everybody pulls their weight.
Yeah.
Everybody's willing to jump in and and everybody's got their strong suits too. You know what I mean? Like obviously Aaron's is welding and fabrication and mechanical, and I'll give you credit on the dozer. I mean, you've got right up there. You ain't no Jerry, but
No.
No one that will ever be
yeah,
Jerry.
but you're closing in.
You're not even a Jerry, but you are absolutely the closest to Jerry. That's for sure.
I told Jerry one day I was going to teach him a thing or two. He said, "That's fine. I'll watch from the house."
I believe that.
But then obviously, Matt's got pretty good on the excavator and dump, and the amount of time you save me not having to, shouldn't say not having to deal with customers, but there is so many phone calls and communications that go on there.
A lot of time.
Making sure you get all the details right, answering all the questions. I get enough phone calls the way it is. I don't have time.
Well, we all need a disconnect, and we all need family time too. And it
Well,
allows you to not have to do that after hours.
But I enjoy running the shovel. I enjoy being in the trenches in the shop with Aaron. I enjoy being on the job. I don't enjoy the paperwork side of stuff, the bidding stuff. I don't want to say I don't enjoy people because that's not necessarily true, but I don't, that part of the business I don't.
You would rather be on the job getting it done.
I'd rather be tromping through the mud than sitting in the office or talking to a customer on the phone.
Yeah.
It's just the way I am. I've always been that way, even in the construction business. That's why I brought a partner on, is because I didn't want to do all that stuff.
Yep. So it honestly blends really well for what we all do throw onto the table.
Right. It works really good for me. I mean, we're busy enough now that I basically got to have a full-time man on board. We do enough stuff where I got to have somebody on board. But
I've told him that for 2 years.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can answer this question though. This company could easily be 4 times the size it is.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, like that.
You just
4
don't
times.
want it to be there.
I don't want it to be. I mean, I spend more time pulling the reins in, saying no. I've been there, done that. I'm not doing it. But with that being said, if we do get on a big job or something, I can pull from you. I can pull from Captain. I can pull from Jerry. Aaron. There's a handful of other people.
Chris.
A handful of other people I can pull in, and we can knock out something big. But then whenever the dust settles, we can come up here and it's just like right now in the wintertime. Thanks to YouTube and social media, we're able to sit up here in the shop where it's nice and warm and dry.
Oh yeah, I have a video coming out about that in about 2 days.
and make videos working on the truck, and we're doing productive maintenance on the truck, but we're able to do it because the videos help pay for our time in the shop versus our time on the job. Which this is, I enjoy this just as much as I do dirt work. But if I did this every day, I'd get burnt out on it.
Well, it's no different.
If
You
I
used
did
to
dirt
plow
work-
snow to take up this time, right?
Yeah.
To have an income, but you figured out how to be able to do preventative maintenance and still make money.
Right. It's and it works good. And then this is the time of year we do some traveling, go around and visit other people and different things. So
we're slacking on that a little bit.
Well, we're getting ready to kick her
I was
out.
going to say, it's getting ready to take off.
Yeah. So before we get into the travel, I do want to get into our travel stuff because this one will come out before some of the travel will happen. But one thing people always say when they come and meet us is, "Oh my goodness, you're the exact same in person as you are on camera."
Absolutely.
Even the people give me a hard time for giving you a hard time. I'll do it whether the camera's rolling or not.
We do it in person in front of those people too.
Right. You know, our bickering back and forth, we do it whether the camera's running or not. Mm-hmm. It don't. I mean, what
No.
you see on camera is what actually happens. We don't.
It is true reality TV.
Yeah, there's no doubt around that whatsoever. So it's about as real as it gets. As far as like, has being on YouTube changed your life any?
Has being on YouTube, on your channel or my own?
Both.
It has made me realize that content isn't necessarily the key.
Yep.
And again, like you always say, not tooting our own horns, but being real means a lot.
Yep.
And it goes a really long way. And it doesn't mean that we know everything. You know, I'm doing this castle renovation. I don't know a whole lot about that.
Yeah, but
I'm going to go for it and be real about it, right? That's what's changed it is there are people out there in this world that value someone being real instead of fake.
Right.
That's a big deal.
And that's one reason I pass on a lot of sponsorship opportunities. Like if it's something we can use, like I'm gonna use Speedbinders for example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to read off of a line card, please buy this product
No,
because.
and honestly, if we didn't like them, we wouldn't use them. The Case Minotaur, you know,
Yeah.
well, I'll use that instead of my own skid steer. Fine, sounds good.
Yep.
But it's definitely opened up a hell of a lot of opportunities,
Absolutely.
and to the point with my following that the financial gain from it's not nothing to sneeze at for sure, which allows me to do stuff like work in the shop and travel a little bit, which is nice. You had your own channel going for a while. You kind of
It's still going. I just ain't got time.
right,
I have zero time.
and no internet.
And no internet. I
That's
can't.
the hardest
and
part,
that's
I
when I
bet.
feel bad because when I do post a video, it takes me 4 or 5 hours to do 30 comments. You know, and right now it's just too much.
But you've still got benefits out of social media and YouTube.
Oh yes, I have a lot. The people. I mean,
The people,
I-
yeah.
I know.
Same comment, exactly.
I mean, I love it. I'm a socialist. I don't know if you guys notice that or not.
You
But
sure?
so this year, I could get in a conversation with everybody on there, and it usually, whenever I go to one of my videos to do it, it usually does take about 2 days because I get chattering back and forth, and I like it. I
It
mean,
takes him 30 minutes to do 40 comments because he types.
yeah, okay, and I think they realize how slow I am too.
If Aaron says one word, don't take offense.
But
No, it's hard to complain
no.
though. It's been, and you're exactly right.
I ain't gonna
People-
lie, I've met a lot of great people. I mean, that's been my highlight of it. I ain't gonna lie. My highlight of it, I ain't about it. I mean, you know, mine's so small, I ain't about any of the money. I've actually had more fun getting on there, chit-chatting with people, and just like you said, learning from other people.
That's right.
And also, that goes both ways, but, you know, it's been pretty nice to be able to help people. People
However, I
ask
will
for-
say you cannot be lighthearted. You got to be able to
Yeah.
take some comments that
Oh,
aren't
yeah.
going to make you
Yeah.
normally feel very well, and
I
just
ain't got any of them.
read them and read them and let them go. Because I'm here to tell you, there are a whole lot of professionals out there in this
Oh,
world.
well, self-proclaimed.
But I still value those comments.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
some good in some of them, but
I mean,
it's,
if anybody knows like your videos, I used to watch them all the time. Get on there and
Oh, you
comment.
just stir-
with-
you just
I,
stir
I, I
comments.
love stirring the pot too. I get on there with all them comments.
He'd come in on breakfast the next morning. He'd be just that smile on his face. He knew he'd had a good one there.
I loved it, but it's hard for me to do it with no internet.
Yeah, but no, it's been good to all of us. You know, the people we've met. You know, some of my best friends now
Yeah.
are from people I've met through YouTube and
Yeah.
social media and a lot of different things. But so speaking of meeting people, we're going to be a few different places coming up. First off, I don't know the exact dates, locations, or times, but I will be in Florida at the auctions. I'll be at Yoder and Fry and Jeff Martin for sure, and probably Ritchie Brothers at some point. It's probably somewhere between the 10th and the 14th.
Yep.
We will be at the farm show in Louisville,
Yep.
Kentucky. I think it's the 16th, which is a Friday. I'm not going to do a formal meet and greet there, but we will have. I will be at the show, so if you guys see me, be sure to stop and say hi.
I'll be there.
You'll probably be there with me.
I'll probably be walking around somewhere.
Yeah, so we'll all be there. The big one
Yep.
is March 14th,
Yep.
15th, March 15th. It's the Wednesday.
Well, for us, it's the 14th, but yes. For the actual meet and greet.
Yes, March 15th, 4 o'clock at the Volvo booth. Volvo. ConExpo, Las Vegas, Nevada. Shall I repeat that? March 15th, 4 o'clock, Volvo booth, Las Vegas, Nevada. We're having a very large meet and greet. Diesel
Yep.
Creek's going to be there. Let's Dig 18 is going to be there.
I'll be there too.
Buildwit's going to be there. Watch West Work, Upstate Brush Control.
Everybody at this table.
Rock Structures, everybody at this table. There's probably going to be over 100 social media people there.
It's a big deal.
It's going to be a big one. So if you guys are at ConExpo, mark out Wednesday at 4 o'clock to come to the Volvo booth. It's going to be a little crammed for time. It's going to be at the end of the day, and we're only going to have about an hour. But we're going to do our best to get everybody through. So we come to that. We're going to do a small, you don't even know about this one yet. We're going to do a small meet and greet July 8th at our local
Yep.
fair, Perry County, Indiana.
Yeah, I didn't know about that one either.
You didn't know about that. I knew about that. He pointed at the wrong person.
Yeah. So July 8th, Perry County Fairgrounds, we'll have a small meet and greet. That's probably the one to come to if you want to actually come to and have a conversation. That'll be the one to come to. And the highlight of that one is if you get there at 3 o'clock, it's free.
Oh, wow.
So you don't have to pay to see us. You can come in and it's free to get in the gate. And then they're going to have tractor pulls that night, so you guys can stay for watch the tractor
Nice.
pulls. So
Yep.
Nice.
local Perry County Fair, keeping an eye on all my social media stuff for that. And then the last one that I know of, and I don't have the exact date, is going to be the Utility Equipment Expo in Louisville, Kentucky. It's probably not going to be as big as last time, but it's still going to be a pretty good sized meet and greet show. I'm sure all of us will be up there,
Yep.
and there'll be a few other ones that'll tag
Yeah.
along.
It's
for
close
sure.
enough
So,
to home.
yeah, that one's only about an hour from us. So stay tuned for that. So basically, we got Florida Farm Show, Las Vegas, the local fairgrounds, and then Louisville. So there's like 5 opportunities to come out and say hi. Meet and greet. If I got stickers, we'll hand out stickers. We'll sign anything you want to see or sign. And I think all 3 of us will pretty much be at all those.
My objective.
Well,
for,
we'll be in Florida.
my objective for Vegas is a real tattoo for a certain person.
Boy.
Oh boy, it'd be cheaper than that damn fake one we got on last time.
Liquid encouragement,
Oh, man.
baby.
I'm glad it was fake. Oh.
One thing's for sure is Aaron's babysitter that failed last time is not going. So one of you two
Yeah.
is in charge of him.
We've
this time.
already listed that out. Remember when I registered everybody for the show? Captain is
Oh, yes.
listed as
Captain.
man
Captain.
behind the scenes babysitter.
You know what?
Captain's
I'm
job
not.
description is made
No
by-
disrespect to you guys, but I'm kind of glad it is Captain. I do trust him a lot
no,
more
you
than you
can't.
do.
No, you can't.
Now, I ain't gonna lie, Matt. I would have trusted you over Chris or
Oh, I
Perfect
guarantee
the
you
last time, but I was with Chris.
All I heard,
Yeah.
And
all I heard,
Chris,
Chris
oh,
called me. He said, "We got a problem."
We knew what the problem was, didn't we?
Yeah, it was about 5'2".
yeah, and I wasn't behind scenes.
He was the scene.
Yeah, he was the scene for most of the night. That's for sure.
All right, well, let's wrap
Yep.
this one up. Hopefully that kind of clarifies everything about what everybody's roles is, everybody's relationship is. Don't forget all the meet and greet locations if you guys want to come out and see us. And we need to get back to work.
Yeah, we do.
As do I.
Aaron's not happy about
No, I was wanting to get something done before we did this, so and it didn't get done.
but it's going to get done.
Yep, be dark again tonight.
And I'm going to get the quotes done today as well. So all is
All
good.
right.
All right, 10-4, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. We got more coming. We're going to try to get a few more out yet this year. And on we go. Later.
Man behind the scenes rules.